Hello, this is our final game submission for our GDevelop game. So to begin, our game is about a thief that is going through a castle, attempting to steal the gold from it. And this is level 1, where we have a normal outdoor setting with the player spawning as a thief on the right here, and the castle being here. So the dialog box right here, it will explain the basic mechanics of the game, such as how to move, jump, and run. And once the player reaches the castle, they can go inside it. And here is the level 1 event. These set up the basic mechanics of the game. So for animation, we have left and right, which moves the player, left and right. Down doesn't really have a or use for it right now. But up arrow is it helps the player instead of jump, it goes into the next level. So it goes to the door. So when the player reaches, as you can see here, when the player reaches the castle, if they're in collision and the up key is pressed, then they will move on to level 2. And for that's for animation, and this is for running. For running, we have just a left control for running, and it will double the player's movement speed. And during every level, we'll play this soundtrack that will loop throughout the entire level. And yeah, and finally, we have the dialog box that shows the player how to play the game. So these two I can collapse. I can running and animation. They will be in every level. And yeah, so let's move on to level 2. So here's level 2. The dialog box here will explain what this guard right here does, right? So as you can see, there's a parkour course for the player to maneuver through, and the player has to reach the door at the end over here, right? The guard right here will patrol the bottom of the platforms, and say the player falls, then you have to try to avoid getting caught by the guard. And here's the level 2 events. Same thing with animation and running, so I will collapse these. And so the first condition is if the player is collision with the door, which is this door right here, they use up key, then it will play an animation, wait a second, and then go to level 3. But if the player is in collision with a guard, then it will wait a second, and then it will reset back to the same level, right? And these two conditions is a timer, and it basically, what it does is it makes the guard walk from right to left over here and reset back to the original position after a few seconds. And for here, this is just the soundtrack, right? This is a soundtrack. And here, the condition is if the player is in collision with the guard, then it will play a sound to indicate, the player has to get reset back to the beginning of the level. And this is the dialog box that explains what the guard is and what he's there for. Okay, moving on to level 3. Here's level 3. Everything here is stationary. The guards do not move, so the player just has to be very careful when they maneuver across these platforms and get to the door at the end here, right? So here are events. So there's nothing much besides the animation running. So another basic condition to check if the player is in collision with the guard, reset back to level 3, and the condition where if the player reaches the door at the end here, right? Once again, it will move on, wait a second, and then move on to level 4. And this is the soundtrack, and this is the guard collision sound. Okay, moving on to level 4. We have moving platforms. So these three platforms over here are actually moving left and right. So the player has to try to jump on top of it and get the timings right. And these two guards right here, the player has to try to jump over them when they're on the platforms. These three guards right here are meant to, they're just there in case the player falls down from these platforms, so they will get reset back to the beginning. And yeah, that's pretty much it for level 4. Again, same animation and condition and running condition, and as well as when the player is in collision with the guards. Right, it'll play a sound and it will reset back to level 4. And this condition is again is a door, right, that moves on to level 5. And the only thing that's different here is here these three conditions. What this does is it moves the three boxes left and right, and yeah, which I will showcase later. And moving on to level 5, this is the final level of our game. The player reaches to the the king, and there will be a dialog box here that I will show later. But what the player should do is reach the chest here. If they're in collision with it, it will prompt the dialog box. And yeah, so there's not many events here. It's just the dialog box, right? If the treasure chest is in collision with the player, then it will show it. And again, we have the music playing the whole time. And yeah, I will explain what this dialog does later. So now I will showcase our game, starting from level 1. Okay, so yeah, there is the soundtrack playing, and see the dialog box. Press left control to sprint. Sorry, up arrow in front of the castle to enter it. Okay, so now it explains what the guard is. So the guard there is to stop me from stealing the castle, and if they reach me, I will have to restart the level. Okay, so like let's say I fall down here, get caught by the guard, right? So now I get reset back to the beginning. So I can jump over the boxes to the final level, right? But let's see the guard. So he reaches the end, and notice how he gets reset back to the beginning. So yeah, that was the main point. So let's say if I fall down here, right? And I can't make the jump, so I'll showcase right here. So let's say I get down here. I can't exactly jump over him. Oh, okay, yeah, because then I get reset back to the beginning because of the hitbox. So I just have to wait until he gets reset back to there, back on the right, and now I can access this part again. And then let's move on to level 3. So for level 3, the guards don't move, but I just have to yeah, carefully jump over these platforms and get to level 4. Oh, may have touched the guard's hitbox there. Okay, here's level 4. See the moving platforms. So for the first guard, I'm gonna want to jump over him, otherwise I will die. See, like that, right? So I'm gonna have to time it right. And then now I have to time the jump at the end as well. Okay, nice. And then now I just have to make sure I catch the other two platforms. There are no guards here, so it's gonna be easier. Okay, and then yeah, just wait until that platform comes back. Okay, now moving on to level 5. The player can walk through here. Right, this is king here. Right, he doesn't really do anything. He's just there. And then once we reach the chest, it prompts a dialogue message saying the king was just a statue to scare people and ask the player to restart. And this resets back to the beginning. Yeah, that is pretty much everything in our game. Thank you for watching.